So I want to go over and talk about the Hinderers, Nieves, or Nieves Bally. I'm not really sure how it's pronounced. Just real quick, I'm gonna go over the specs a little bit. The overall length on this is 10 inches. We're looking at a S35 VN blade steel. And this is like a Tonto profile. The handles are blue anodized and are 6AL4V grade 5 titanium. You could have looked all that up, but I just want to make it easy. The handle thickness is 0.47, which is a little thinner than I would prefer, but I don't think it matters much because the design, he's given you quite a lot of surface area for you to grip. And I know that it doesn't matter too much because I can actually ladder without any issues. See if I can get a half decent one. Yeah, it just stays right in the fingers. It doesn't roll around or anything like that. In fact, the AB Infinity is 0.48, but the surface area is less and it rolls around. So the chamfer is not a very steep angle. I think you might even have more surface area on this knife than you do a standard AB. So ladder is good. I'm a terrible flipper, but it definitely ladders good. I think Rick Hinderer, I think he did a really good job with this Bally. It's probably a in my opinion, I think it's a top tier flipper. He's absolutely nailed the balance on it. It's a little handle bias, but he's got a pretty, the blade design really balances out well. It still fans really good. In fact, it's probably one of the best fanning knives I've ever flipped. It also carries momentum very well. It shorts, so when I test to see if it carries momentum well, I usually test to see if it short stops good. If it short stops good, then I don't have to worry about tricks being too hard. It's just a matter of your skill at that point. So it kind of checks the list for me. It fans, it ladders, it carries momentum. That's pretty much all I look for in a Bally. And the weight is just under 0.49 latchless. A couple things I wanted to touch upon, since some people critique this thing quite often, and one of the gripes is that this design is a little bit pinchy. And to tell you the truth, it is a little bit pinchy. And I don't think it being hornless makes all that much of a difference. I think the pinchiness is actually coming from the tank cups. The top of the tank cup here is rounded. This bottom one actually comes to an edge. I think that might have just been an oversight, I'm not really sure. But it definitely should be chamfered or rounded off. What's happening is you're actually getting pinched by the tank cups and the tang of the blade. I think if the blade was completely chamfered all the way around, it would actually get rid of that problem. And I believe he's already spoken about making those improvements in his next model. So I don't think it's going to be a problem in the future. Something else, the hardware. The hardware is all Allen wrenches. It is not Torx in the back. It is also Allen, but you cannot find an Allen wrench that is small enough to use in the back. I'm not really sure why, but it is tiny, man. I had to replace 3 of the hardware with Torx hardware because the Allen's got way too loose and all I can do was back him out with my fingers. So I replaced them with steel. Also, I'm not sure if the hardware is actually steel or titanium, but I've got a bit of a hunch that it's titanium, and I would prefer to see steel hardware and Torx instead of Allen's. The other thing, the back of the hardware protrudes. It's not recessed. There's a pretty easy fix to that. I say just make the bally latchless, man. You can get rid of these inserts that are in here. Make the bally latchless just by extending the spacers, and that will compensate for the weight difference. And then that will make to where all you have to do is take out the hardware and put in a clip if you want the clip. You don't have to worry about losing your inserts and messing up the balance. This thing actually flips very similar to my AB Infinity with the carbon fiber inserts. It's it's incredibly similar. But I spent over $600 on that knife to get it to the point to where I like flipping it. This knife right now, with the horns, you can buy it brand new for $325, and you're getting a top tier flipper. And honestly, the pinchiness that you kind of feel with this knife, it's not a make or break at all. I think people just like to gripe about things. But I've had this thing for a week, and I've had actually a lot of fun with it. I'm gonna miss it. It's gonna be heading out on Tuesday. So those are some of the things that I wanted to go over. Maybe gave some insight and some things that can be improved on this thing. Maybe I can get a good combo for you. My last video, I couldn't get a very good combo. We'll see. Ah, man. Oh well. I probably won't be making any cuts in this footage, but yeah, I like this knife. It's great. Pick one up if they're still in stock, which they should be. But that's all I got for you guys. I'll catch you on the flip side.